Today I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to use your 360 virtual tours to better serve your clients and get them the best price and the most looks on their property. Now I use Zillow's 360, I believe they call it 3D home tour. It'll provide the wonderful walkthrough experience and normally a 2D floor plan as well. So let's dive into this and I'll show you how it would look for your client and the customers that want to view your house. So of course it starts with capturing the images at the property itself. I use the dedicated camera and it'll upload right into the Zillow app, and we'll start that process of getting everything processed on the Zillow side. So now let's look and see what the potential buyers are going to have a look at. They'll come up to your page for your property. They'll say, ooh, that's a good price, but let me look and see more. Obviously, they can click through and see the rest of the photos that you as the agent have uploaded. Of course, the 3D home tour, this 360 experience, is what we're primarily looking at. It starts with the main window here. You can click and drag. It'll show you around wherever you'd like to look at in the space. You'll notice some key things down here with indicators to move throughout the space from one panorama to the next. Over on the side, you'll also see that there's individual floors listed. So in this case, we've got floor 1 and floor 2. You can zoom in and out and notice that there are indicated by little red dots and little blue dots where you are throughout the floor plan. Also an indicator of what your viewpoint is. As you shift the view in the main screen, it'll shift the indicator over on the floor plan. So let's click and move into the living room a little bit farther. You see, we move to a different dot. We have a different viewpoint. You can go through and perhaps look at the kitchen. You can look from the ceiling all the way down to the floor. You can also click on the individual blue dots to change your viewpoint in the floor plan. This really helps give the potential buyers not only a chance to walk through the property without having to schedule showings, perhaps they're not in the area in the first place, so they can get a sense for how the property is laid out before even writing an offer. Also, it gives them control. They can sit here for as long as they want and look at whatever part of the property, the house, the garage, anything that's captured when I'm there. Of course, you can go up to the second floor straight away. Let's look here in the loft. You got a bedroom. The foyer is downstairs. Up at the top, you'll see a couple other indicators. One is floor plan, and it takes those floor plans and makes them much larger. They've got some measurements. These are not hyper accurate measurements, but they're very, very close. You'll see a couple keys here. The blue dots, as we've seen before, are where the 360 photos are. But then also we've got the green dots. The green dots relate to photographs. And we can click on photos directly and then go through the slideshow that I'll provide you. And you can upload right into the MLS. These images are taken from the MLS listing. So whatever you put there, that one stop is what's going to be populated into Zillow and Realtor.com and all of the other secondary sort of online listing services. This one is the images, so you can't do anything with them but just click through the slideshow. However, over on the side, you'll see that with the floor plans, it'll pretty much match up and tell you where you are and what the viewpoint is in the home. We can go back to the floor plan tab and actually your potential buyer can look and say, oh, well, I've got a panoramic view here of the bedroom, but I've also got 2 photographs. Let's click on one of those. It'll take you right to photos. You can click over here. Well, that's the other viewpoint. If you want to go back to the floor plan, perhaps, and do a 360 of that space, there you go. So this is a fantastic way to, encourage people to look at the property, take their own time, and walk through it without actually being there. Now, there are a number of different ways that this can benefit the not only buyers, but your sellers as well. The biggest way is that you can send this Zillow link to your buyers. So because you have the listing, I send you the link, you can send it to a potential buyer. And especially if they're out of the area, say, hey, take a look at this. If this is something that you want to go see, maybe send them information via your MLS portal or however else you get connected with your own buyers for your own listings. But also this 360 tour you can share onto social media platforms. It works very well on Facebook, for instance. You can also find that this is directly linked into your MLS. If you insert that tour link into your virtual tour tab, it'll pull directly into Zillow. It'll pull directly into Realtor.com, Homes.com, Trulia, all of those secondary listing service sites. So when someone sees that a 360 tour is available on any of those sites, then they can just click on that and go through the same experience. It is hosted by Zillow, so of course, if you know anything about algorithms, the hosting site likes those things that are hosted with it, and so this has a very high likelihood that Zillow is actually going to, I won't say directly promote, but perhaps give favoritism to your listings that do have these 3D tours hosted by Zillow on their platform. Now, how this compares to other platforms that you might have heard of, such as Matterport. Matterport is a big portion of the industry. Their scale and depth of features are slightly different. You'll notice that Zillow that I'm using only has the two-dimensional floor plans, and it doesn't have the really neat looking dollhouse, so you can look from up above and switch around this 3D model, but you're also paying more for that. So I hope that was informational. I hope it answered a few questions. This is really easy to use. Like I said, I'll send you the link when I send you the link for your normal photographs, and you can just upload it right into your MLS as a virtual tour. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks.